Get mantra and meditation MP3s at jasongallant.ca.
Today I want to talk to you about enlightenment and one of the obstacles that steps in the way of your enlightenment or self-realization, and that is building a religion around your suffering. So often people will have a certain experience within themselves. They'll have a certain feeling, certain vibration. Perhaps it's depression, perhaps it's fear or worry. Perhaps it's self-doubt. I mean, there's an infinite amount of flavors of suffering that go through a human being in a day. But so often, instead of sitting with these things, just allowing them to move through without putting any opinion or judgment upon them, people start to build an entire religion around why they are suffering. They start to create the why, and that why keeps them locked into a loop of never-ending suffering. You see, the why is all happening in the mind. And the only way to recycle energy is to open the heart. And the heart doesn't care why, it just is. So the mechanics around this is to stop looking for why and to fully be here. Breathing is one way to do this. If you're caught in a loop of suffering, just start breathing. Watch your breath. I have a video on here called the bellows breath. That's a great breath to use. Some people use fire breath, some people use different types of pranayama, but that is one way to practice being here. Especially for those of you who aren't quite sure about how to meditate. So surrender your religion around your suffering. Surrender any justification that you have to staying within your own torture chamber. Now, the reason why this video is so effective for helping you is that you don't know me, I don't know you. You can choose to do whatever you wish. There's no judgment coming from me. There's no power game going on. You can just choose, and I'll never know whether you're free of your torture or not. So often when there's a power dynamic between two people, the person who's suffering wants to stay suffering because somehow that gives them strength over the person that's trying to heal them. So this is another defense mechanism of the ego that happens. But when no one's looking, when no one is around you, you can make choices. You can make choices that have nothing to do with you being perfect or less perfect. It has more to do with the fact that you're already perfect. You just need to use your vehicle properly so that you're not creating suffering that's unnecessary. The way most people master suffering, because a lot of people have black belts in suffering. I mean, there's a long list of things that people could teach other people about how to suffer. It seems to be the one thing that everybody seems to manage as they incarnate on this planet is how to create suffering and how to get other people to suffer as well. How to convince others to suffer and how to keep them all trapped in the same game of suffering and somehow find a way to enjoy the process in a weird sort of way. You don't have to, though. It is a choice. And some people are heavily invested in their suffering, so when I say it's a choice, they say, no, it's not. I just have been victimized by suffering my entire life and there's nothing I can do about it. But one thing you have to realize is that everything is a culmination of little choices. So perhaps as you sit here with an experience and you find out how you are rejecting the experience, and then your awareness expands a little bit as you stay here with the experience, and then you become aware of another way that you're rejecting this experience, or another story that you're holding on to that is creating the experience. You will notice that slowly but surely, like water over a stone, this suffering will diminish. It will lessen. But there can be a time delay as your awareness expands. It's not always quite so instantaneous. So expand your awareness. Be here with yourself. That automatically expands your awareness. Drop any story that is reinforcing unhappiness within you. Any story, whether it's one of guilt, whether it's one of shame, whether it's one of what you should be or shouldn't be, let it all go. This requires discipline. And this can take some practice. In this day and age where everybody is about instant gratification, discipline is a lost art. Hone discipline. Rein your mind in. As you feel whatever suffering that's within you, you rein your mind in so that it is not coming up with a story. It is not trying to convince you that that suffering should be there. And as you do this, the neutral point of the mind will become easier and easier for you to hold as you feel what is here. And you're so deeply here that a fire within you starts. And this fire consumes anything that's here. And light and warmth and freedom is the result. Your mind is not your master. You have bound yourself by your mind from your own free will, but you don't have to. When the heart opens, interesting possibilities come to you. You start to move in ways that are unfamiliar to you. You start to create from a different place within. You're no longer trapped in the prison of comparing to others. You are now free to be whatever it is that you are in this moment. And genius can happen in that place. I'm not saying anyone else will see it as genius, but that's where the genius happens. So surrender your religion on suffering. So I hope this helps you on your spiritual journey. Take care for now. Those of you who are interested in taking a formal course on awakening, enlightenment, and healing and spirituality, my teacher, Aratima, she offers an online course, an official course called the Wisdom Live School. So make sure you check out her website if you are interested in taking some sort of formal training, and it's at aratima.com. And those of you who aren't familiar with Aratima, I did write a book about my experiences with her called Awakening with Aratima. So make sure you check that out. That's how my whole spiritual journey began many years ago.